안녕하세요. 동탐왕코입니다. 운동해야지. 운동해야지. 아, 아, 오늘 서울 한강에서는 여기도 불꽃 축제가 있다는데, 하, 아, 오늘 밤만 출근하면 이제 휴가입니다. 휴가. 하지만 수영 강습을 들어야 되기 때문에 화요일까지는 여기 동탄에 있을 거고요. 수요일 날은 마나이가 쉬고 목요일부터는 서울 집에 가 있을 겁니다. 아, 와, 와. 아, 안 올라가집니다. 안 올라가죠. 일단 좁은 상태로 하겠습니다. 저쪽 가서 오늘은 턱걸이는 못하겠습니다. 안 올라가요. 아이고 졸려. 와 허리 부러질 뻔했어. 운동해야 돼. 왜 이렇게 운동하기 싫지? 미쳐버리겠어요. 등의 근육통이 장난이 아닙니다. CNN 운동할 땐 CNN.
So I source my objects and fabrics that I use in my work from anywhere. If I see something beautiful, I'm going to pick it up and save it for later and come up with a concept around it. Oh, I like the colors of this one. Let's have a look. I do go to Nairobi city center to look for a lot of the things I use in my work because there's a lot of good places to find fabrics. I like this one. It reminds me of Tetris and like the games we used to play on our parents' mobile phones with all the pixels, like Snake. Everyone had a Nokia, they played Snake on their Nokia. I love it. The objects that I use in my work, I love using everyday objects in African homes and turning them into pieces of art. So it could be anything, whether it's, I don't know, the pegs that you use to hang your clothes, the baskets that you use to store your things, the cans you use to drink your sodas in, just things that we interact with on a daily basis as Kenyans or Africans. I love to collect and turn them into fashion pieces and celebrate our heritage through them. I love to use models that have unique African features. So whether it's a gap in the teeth or slightly bigger nose or slightly fuller lips, just the things that we look at and we know, oh, that must be an African. I think I really am passionate about celebrating the color of our skin, and I want dark models. Dark is beautiful to me, and I want to pass on that message in my work.
Tandiwe champions diversity in front and behind the lens. From experience, she knows how tough it can be to succeed as a woman in the industry.
How many prominent female Kenyan photographers are there? I'd say right now just 2 or 3. I am hoping will be more. It would be nice to have some more women come up in this male-dominated industry. All right, one more time, Anita. So what challenges did I face in my career path and being a female photographer? I think number one was a perception that photography is for men. It's a very physical job. Usually wearing jeans and sneakers and sweating. Personally, for me, I had to realize that even if that's not the very glamorous side of the job, there's still deep reward in taking pictures and capturing stories. I think another real challenge is finances. The equipment we use is expensive. Very nice. The startup costs of being a photographer are very high. And so where do I get the money to buy the cameras that I want to take all these beautiful pictures was a really big challenge. I shoot natural light and I'm on a...
Tandiwe is passionate about paving the way for future generations of creatives.
Because of the challenges I faced in my own journey, how I give back to the next generation of photographers, I think, is teaching. I've realized stories are powerful, and there's 2 ways you can teach. I can tell my story, and my story gives hope to anybody who wants to be a photographer one day when they grow up. And I think the second way is I hold workshops because I want the information that I struggle to find to be easily accessible to the next generation. We shouldn't be struggling to learn how to use our cameras or to learn how to develop our creative voice.
Next time on Vital Signs, we're in Bangkok.
For a look at the public health issue facing Thailand's Buddhist monks.
For the problem of obesity, it is like a ticking time bomb.
See how what they're learning can help people around the globe.
Vital Signs, tonight on CNN, in association with Bangkok Dusit Medical Services.
This is CNN.
On the next CNN Equestrian Global Champions.
The Big Apple welcomes the best jumpers in the world. New York City hosts the prestigious season finale to the Longines Global Champions Tour and the Global Champions League. From the first jump to the podium finish, we are here to follow all the action.
CNN Equestrian Global Champions, Thursday on CNN.
Tandiwe Muriu aims to break down beauty stereotypes by showcasing the depth of African culture through her photography.
I'm not here to tell you things, I'm here to create with you.
She's also breaking down barriers for budding photographers. In her studio in downtown Nairobi, she hosts workshops to give them the tools and training to develop their craft.
My thought process is different because my work is like I'm giving a piece of my soul. I am doing low volumes of high quality, which means it takes time. It takes so much time. Delegating allows you to have time to rest. Remember that rest we're talking about that we all don't have time for, but we need? It gives you time to rest. This is our model, Anita. I try and have a bit of a rapport with my models. The more you can connect with whoever you're shooting, portraits, whatever, the better your images get. How do you connect, for those of you who are not social butterflies? My experience has been that it takes perseverance to be a creative, especially in a place where it's not fully understood what value you add to culture and community. And so yeah, I meet very many talented people, but I think the ones who go far are the ones who are talented but willing to put in the work. Photography is kind of like riding a bike. The more you do it, the easier it gets, the faster you go. So the more you practice, the better you get. Once Vinta starts posing, I'm the boss. This is my set. I am the one person who knows what we're doing. And so you need to lead on your set. Introverts, small ladies, you've got this, okay? Looking pretty good. Hold that pose. So I like this pose. I think it's a really epic one. I want to make it look even more like epic. So I try and hold these workshops during low season when I'm less busy, because it's a good time to actually plan the content, plan the shoots, and get the team I need for them. I try and make them as affordable as possible, and anybody who contacts me on Instagram or email can come. It doesn't have to be, there's no really much prerequisites. They don't even need to have a camera. If they don't have a camera, they can use mine and go home with the images and edit later on. Ooh, I really like that. That's looking good. I love the glass on the knee. I want anybody who is curious about photography and finding their voice as an artist to be able to come to my workshops. I try and make them very interactive, and what I'm trying to do is contextualize the information that's out there so that anybody, whether they've had a lot of exposure or little exposure, can translate the information into a way they understand and can apply to their own journey. All right, who wants to go next? I'm going to give you guys...
Tandiwe tries to demystify both the creative and business process for her students.
That's better, yeah. I know I could never be where I am today without people investing their time and their knowledge in me, in answering my questions, in encouraging me to chase my dreams, telling me I'm not crazy, in wanting to be a fashion photographer from Africa. That's lovely. There is no dream that's too big, too small, too out there. Everybody has a unique talent and gift, and I want to give that to my community. And I can give that directly to the photographers who are coming up behind us, teaching them how to use their cameras, teaching them to develop their voice, their vision, and watching them grow and come into who they want to be as an artist. All right, what else can we do with this? It's an honor to know that when I began teaching workshops, I was teaching them purely because I saw people facing the same challenge I had. That was it. It was that simple. And it's amazing to see what that has turned into and the doors that's opened. Any questions about shooting? I believe a photographer is made, you do have to have a bit of the talent, but beyond that, it's just the drive and the perseverance to know that no matter how many obstacles you face, you will keep trying and going. I'm so excited by what's happening in the fashion world and in just generally online in Africa now. Everyone is embracing who they are, and we're exploring new ways to express ourselves as Africans. That excites me because that's why I do what I do. I actually really like that's working.
If you want to see more photos from the changemakers we featured on this episode, head over to the CNN Africa Instagram page. While you're there, leave a comment and let us know what you thought about the show. I'm Mari Chokwo, and I'll be back next week with more changemakers from the continent.
Thinking of banking in Africa? Think Zenith. In today's fast-moving, fast-changing world, you need a financial partner that understands your unique expectations. A bank with presence in major financial centers across the world, with the enabling platform to facilitate seamlessly, whenever, wherever, or however. A bank with best-in-class financial solutions from a superb combination of technology and human touch for easy, fast, and secure banking that creates real value. Turning dreams into reality is now in your hands. People, technology, service. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
A little bit of California in every grain.
We live in an unpredictable environment. My show brings you the latest news and top news makers. We also dive below the headlines to explore vital issues impacting our lives.
Amanpour, Tuesday to Saturday on CNN.
The straight talk you need from your man in Washington, who won't back down. The Lead with Jay Tapper, Tuesday through Saturday on CNN.
House subpoenaed. It is just the latest development in the inquiry that is racing toward impeachment. We'll get you up to date. Plus this. Iraq's prime minister lifts a curfew after days of anti-corruption protests. Also ahead, protesting the ban. Shops close as Hong Kong braces for more demonstrations over a new rule outlawing face masks. Live from CNN World Headquarters in Atlanta, I'm George Howell. The impeachment of President Trump, the momentum is building on that investigation. And now there is a report of a second potential whistleblower who has firsthand knowledge of the president's actions on Ukraine. The New York Times is reporting that a U.S. intelligence official is considering filing a formal complaint against the Trump White House. On top of that, the White House has now been subpoenaed for documents after ignoring a congressional request to do so voluntarily. The Vice President of the U.S. is also now in the mix, with Democrats requesting information about his meeting in Poland with Ukraine's new leader. In the meantime, Mr. Trump insists that he is doing nothing and has done nothing wrong, I should say. CNN's Caitlin Collins has more now from the White House.
When I speak to a foreign leader, I speak in an appropriate manner.
President Trump stuck with that line of defense today as he was forced to defend calling on another foreign leader to investigate his political rival, something he claims has nothing to do with the upcoming election.
I don't care about Biden's campaign, but I do care about corruption.
After suggesting China should look into Joe Biden, Trump denied linking it to a potential trade deal.
One thing has nothing to do with the other.
Making that claim even though he mentioned trade right before saying this Thursday.
China should start an investigation into the Biden.
Trump hasn't personally asked China's president to launch an investigation, he says, but sources tell CNN during a summer phone call that he not only promised President Xi Jinping he'd remain quiet on pro-democracy protests in Hong Kong, he also raised Biden and Elizabeth Warren, which he says he doesn't remember.
Was that in 2017? I don't know, you'd have to tell me when.
One question Trump didn't answer today was whether he'd asked other countries to investigate someone who's not his political opponent.
You know, we would have to look.
But he did confirm he'll dare House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to hold a formal vote on an impeachment inquiry before the White House will cooperate.
Well, we'll be issuing a letter.
The White House argues Democrats don't have the authority to demand documents without one, though Democrats say otherwise.
These people are looking for anything they can get.
The Ukraine scandal overshadowing the September jobs report, which showed the unemployment rate fell to 3.5%.
They're the best numbers we've had in over 50 years.
And as much as the White House would like to focus on that